Hi, that is the 15 millionth time I have said that in the last hour. But alas, hi, my name is Alexis. I have maladaptive daydreaming disorder, and as of recent, it has been controlling my life again. So I figured I would, on this day, a self intervention day, to kind of take you through what I'm doing to help with that. I just filmed a great video while I was in the middle of having an attack, um, an attack as an a mild an anxiety attack, um, because I had just passed. Right, let's go with this again. So, part of why my daydreaming is so bad right now is because I wake up in the morning, and the thing that gets me out of bed is daydreaming. I usually don't even stand up until I've put my headphones in and I'm about to pee. I decided I was going to film 24 hours without daydreaming today as a form of intervention. So I sat on my bed instead for 10 minutes, just trying to will myself to get up and do anything other than daydream, and it didn't happen. And after 10 minutes of realizing I'm not going to get up at all now if I don't daydream, I did anyway. And that was about 9 o'clock, half 9. So this is what I made about the routine. I will get up 9 o'clock, half 9, daydream until about 11 o'clock, because at 11 o'clock I often have a call with a friend of mine. Brain fog, big fun. So this call will normally last around 2 hours, and then I will daydream again, which is worth mentioning. When we talk about daydreaming triggers, we there are kind of two categories of triggers. There are the things you do while you're daydreaming, to produce that absorb immersive daydreaming state. So that might be repetitive movement, whether that be pacing or fidgeting or whatever. Um, music, music while you daydream, that kind of thing. But there are also triggers that cause there are also triggers that cause a person to feel the urge to daydream. Some of the most common are watching movies, reading books, that kind of thing, where there's a fictional where you are interacting with someone else's fictional universe and then you get ideas for your universe and it spirals. But a big one of mine, as I have social anxiety issues and just I'm an introvert and have a very small, limited social battery, is any form of socialization. So I will get up in the morning and I will daydream to prepare for my call, and then after the call I will have been talking to someone for like 2 hours. Then I'll be like, okay, I need a break from reality. I'm gonna go daydream for a while. Usually convincing myself that I'll stop after a certain time, um, or even just when I feel urge is gone, to sit down and do what I need to do. But because my daydreaming, I'm going on so many tangents. Because I remember I said these all in a great order in my first video, but obviously that one, the audio had to screw up. So now I'm just remembering what I said out of order. And you daydream a lot more than normal. Well, it's kind of like overeating. When you overeat, your stomach expands. so that next time you eat, can eat more, and more importantly, feel like you need to eat more to feel full. When you daydream a lot more than normal, that very quickly becomes your norm, the normal amount of daydreaming you need to function. So while in the past, daydreaming after this call was fine because I would daydream for about an hour and then I could go back to doing things, now that my daydreaming amount per day has steadily gone up, I get off this call at about 1 o'clock and then I will daydream up until about 5 o'clock, which is when we as a household have dinner. That means is we come to our next. If we categorize those two triggers I was talking about as immersive triggers and pause triggers, at 5 o'clock, and I finally burnt myself out from daydreaming, we come across the second pause trigger of the day, which is eating dinner with my family, oftentimes while watching a TV show. So that's a double trigger right there, and again, I will end up needing to daydream afterwards, and will usually not get done daydreaming from that until 12 o'clock at night. By which point I will be tired, I will go to bed, and this cycle. So that doesn't really leave any space for doing literally anything. Obviously, for the sake of my life in general, I need to reduce some daydreaming. And I figured since I made a video intro, which I now hate for lots of petty little reasons, but I think had good advice, what better way to pass that advice on and to face myself it after I realised I need to take control of my own daydreaming. And this also gives me a good opportunity to talk kind of about what it feels like to when the need to daydream is cropping up on you, but you are not doing it. For me personally, I find it feels different depending on why I'm not daydreaming. Like it's a conscious choice I have made that no one else is keeping me to. So like right now, like there's nothing stopping me from picking up my head going versus out in public, and like I know it's so it doesn't bother me as much. But I've gotten over some of the worst of the symptoms since I've been sat here filming for about an hour now. To recite some of the symptoms I was feeling, trying to explain when I first started filming. My throat was closing up, I was having trouble breathing. Still kind of am, to be honest, but it's better. I was shaky. My muscles were very tense, like my whole body. I felt like I was just kind of like curled up on myself. And the one that you, if I leave in the video, you've probably already noticed, is I have severe brain fog. Like I just cannot hold a sentence. I keep messing with my hair and my face, sort of ground myself, but it's not working. I haven't followed my own advice. In that getting control video, I talked about how, for me at least, the most important aspect to gaining control of your daydream is learning the skill and practicing the skill that is um, denying that urge when it crops up. Even if, so like right now, there's nothing stopping me from daydreaming. There's nothing I urgently have to do this second. But I am saying no, and I am sat here doing this instead because, well, besides felt a lot off when I first got off that call. It was when I have events throughout the day that mean I definitely cannot daydream. So when I was younger, it used to be school. Now it's that call and dinner and eating dinner with my family. I often have a very compulsive desire to daydream afterwards to the point where it becomes routine. Because when I have an enforced time to stop daydreaming, then I will always, by the end of that time, feel the need to every day. So daydreaming at the time that that event ends, every day becomes routine. So, point me sat here filming instead of daydreaming after that call is basically my computer's running out of charge. Oh, this is gonna suck. I have cramps and I need to crawl across the room. My daydreaming has been steadily getting worse. So, me working to get control of it has really started today. And with that in mind, I have to be self aware that it's going to be harder at the moment than any other time that I'm doing this. My advice in that video, if you're at that point, is that when you're saying no to that urge, as just a practice thing, you're going to want to distract with something you enjoy doing very quickly. It has to be something that's immersive, so you won't feel the need to daydream kind of over the top of it. And the reason it should be something you enjoy is because A, you're going to be easily, going to more, it's going to be easier to be distracted by something you enjoy doing than something you don't, especially considering oftentimes we daydream as a form of procrastination from things that are stressing us out. So, for example, trying to get control of your daydreaming because you study more than you are. When you're first starting that journey of reducing your daydreaming time, you don't want to immediately go study after feeling the urge to daydream because you probably end up daydreaming anyway because that um, activity will not distract you enough and it will actually increase your desire to daydream because you're doing something you're not enjoying. But I've always found the trick to overcoming that urge is distraction. Because once you've forgotten that you wanted to daydream in the first place, when it reoccurs to you, it won't be as strong. It's weird, but it's actually kind of like avoiding an addiction. When you first feel that craving coming up, you're really going to want to give in to it. And there is no way that's not going to feel bad. The only real thing you can do about that is to forget about that feeling in any way you can. And because it's mostly a mental one with this particular disorder, the best way to do that is to pick up something that's immersive that you enjoy in the real world. It has to tie you into reality. I find one of the best ways to do that is actually to talk to someone you care about because from the minute you say hello to someone, you're kind of under obligation not to leave and not to daydream. Like, for example, like I'm sitting here right now and I want to daydream, but I am filming. The problem with filming as a distraction is that there is nothing holding me here. If I say, oops, actually, I give up, I want to daydream, I just turn this off, and that's fine. If you are talking to someone, however, you have to consciously acknowledge and make an excuse to say goodbye to this person and feel whatever you're going to feel about that. I tend to feel very guilty. Or you can go and get your fix. And we'll get back to you later, probably when the urge to daydream arises.